geocentrist, but you've never actually said that. I know you've said that you like Nephilim 3, but you never actually said that you was a geocentrist. So what's your like? Do you really think the universe revolves around the Earth? You haven't made up your mind yet, but a lot of scientists accept geocentrism. No, they don't accept geocentrism. That is completely false. What scientists do say is that there is no center of the universe. So you could say that Earth is the center of the universe. You could say that Mars is the center of the universe. You could say Andromeda is the center of the universe. Paul Ruckman, Kent Hovind, they are not scientists. They have not had any degrees. Nephilim 3 is not a scientist either. Dude, how can you take these people as authorities? He's not a scientist.
Kent Hovind has 15 years. He has 15 years of scientific experience, and he's got a PhD. So it's Dr. Kent Hovind and it's Dr. Paul Ruckman, because they both have PhDs.
Dude,
so
no.
Kent Hovind has taught science for over 15 years, so he knows what he's talking about. He's taught science for over 15 years.
Where did he teach science? Because we obviously can't find any place that he's actually taught science except for in his own school that he set up. And yeah, with Nephilim 3, he dropped out of school at 16. And Ruckman, Ruckman. But the point of the matter is that with Kent Hovind, he's lying out of his ass. I honestly can't believe that you accept these people as authorities when they are religiously creationists, and you ignore the thousands, maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of other scientists which basically say, no, you are wrong. You're taking any little piece of evidence that not even evidence, you're taking any piece of quote unquote authority that you can find and say, this is true, this is what scientists think. And it's like, no, it's not.
There's actually a petition going on at the moment. There's a petition, and thousands of scientists have signed this petition and have said that evolution is not science. So this isn't just Kent Hovind or Ruckman. There are thousands of other scientists who think that evolution is just a theory and it's ridiculous.
Dude, I think I'm pretty sure you're talking about the descent from Darwinism, and that is completely utter false. Because actually, most of the people that were actually in that list weren't even scientists, and the ones that were scientists signed it. Shit, dude, can you put like? Shit, dude, can you like put earphones in or something? Like seriously. Right, okay, so you talk about this descent from Darwinism, and basically, what was it? A lot of the people that were in that list weren't even scientists. They just maybe worked at the colleges or universities. One of them was a fucking janitor, or one of them was a park ranger. The ones that were scientists signed it saying that they are completely open to having it proved to them that evolution is false. The fact of the matter is that it hasn't been proved that it's false yet, and a lot of them who read this and found out that this was being used to promote creationism actively contacted these people saying that they wanted their names taken off it.
Okay, there's actually a challenge going on at the moment. It's a challenge by Kent Hovind, and Kent Hovind is offering $250,000 he's offering $250,000 to anyone that can prove evolution. Okay, he's offering $250,000 to anyone that can prove evolution, and so far no one has been able to prove evolution.
Dude, yes it has.
If you're so confident in evolution, then why don't you take his challenge? I mean, if you're so sure that evolution is a fact, then why don't you try and prove it to him? And then if you do prove it to him, he'll give you $250,000.
Well,
why don't you do that?
Personally, I don't think it's Ken Hovind because he's in prison at the moment, and he won't be. He'll be in prison for another 7 years, and so maybe it was his son that put that challenge out. But even if he did put that challenge out, because this is the first time I've actually heard of this, and even if he did put this challenge out, it would be giving out $250,000 all over the place because evolution is a proven fact. The only time that they say that no, you don't get the 250, I think the only time that they'd say no, you don't get the 250,000 because all they'll do is move the goalposts, because they'll try and say, okay, give us a transitional species between ducks and crocodiles, and that's not what evolution says at all. Yeah, it doesn't even have $250,000 in my opinion, because if he did, he'd probably try and get a lawyer, a good lawyer anyway. And do you actually know about another challenge that's been issued that is actually offering $1 million to anybody that can prove supernatural occurrences? Just any supernatural occurrences. Maybe not from Christianity, maybe from Hinduism, maybe from Taoism, maybe from Buddhism, maybe from anything. Yeah,
the problem with these kind of challenges is that if you prove something to them, they won't actually accept that kind of proof. I mean, if you know, what's his name? James Randi. Do you know James Randi?
Yes, I know James Randi.
James Randi, he's offering $1 million to whoever that can prove him that God exists.
Yes.
And he's not gonna give. I mean, if I come to his house and I prove to him definitively and scientifically that God exists, I doubt that he'd give me $1 million.
Okay, so you're saying you could basically prove that God exists. Well, first of all, the challenge is actually just to prove that supernatural occurrences can arise. But you're saying that you can prove God exists. I'm not James Randi, but I would be greatly interested to know how you would prove God existing to him. Just tell me.
Well, okay, imagine a huge metropolitan city, that perhaps, 10 or 20 years from now, so it's a very technologically advanced metropolitan city, okay? Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so this huge metropolitan city, right, it's massive, and let's say, for the sake of argument, that we miniaturize that metropolitan city, okay, we miniaturize it trillions and trillions and trillions and hextrillions of times and billions of times until it becomes as small as a living cell, okay?
Okay.
And if you compare this miniaturized city to the living cell, even still, the living cell is still way complex. It is so complex because you can't just try and explain how complex it is, because it is so complex. I mean, you wouldn't believe how complex the living cell is. So, that's just,
okay,
how
so
complex it is.
my response to that.
It is,
Sorry.
unimaginably complex. So complex. Trust me. If you have a microscope, you can zoom in and you can see how complex it actually is. And trust me, it is very complex.
Okay, so see, okay, my answer to this is that is a flat out lie. For the simple reason that a cell is relatively simple in its construction. But even if you wanted to say that the human cell is complex, that actually is an argument against God. For the simple reason that if God was all perfect, he would want to create things simple that work for their function. He wouldn't want to include all this complexity that just doesn't do fuck all. If something was created, it would be simple. Now, if you want to say that this a technologically advanced city is not as complex as a cell, that's just wrong. Let me just go through how a cell is. Right, you've got the nucleus, which is basically just like an egg, not even an egg, just like a yolk of DNA. And DNA, I've already gone through DNA, which is basically just amino acids into ribonucleic acids into deoxyribonucleic acids, which is just it's DNA. And that molds together. And cells produce a membrane. This is actually proven fact. It's scientifically with chemistry as well, that when protein meets it has contact with a lipid, then it forms a membrane. This is simple chemistry, okay? And then after that, you get other things that basically this cell membrane allows things that the DNA can use, but doesn't allow it to escape. This is how it works. So there are a lot of other many things that you can put into there, but really they are not as complex. They're not nearly as complex as, say, a mansion. Never mind a city. But I had a feeling that when he was going to do this, he was going to say that a building requires a builder. And again, even if you wanted to do that, you can say a building in its construction can evolve, because as man has evolved technologically, we've gone from caves to holes in the ground to like mounds, and then these things are built and built and built and been added to it. This is how evolution is. Everything evolves, even technologically, biologically.